wet feeds versus dry feeds? This is one of the questions we usually get asked by a lot of farmers. Here at Money Mixed Farm, we do feed both wet feeds and dry feeds. And what factors should you consider when choosing either to feed wet feeds or dry feeds? Consider when choosing which type of feeds to use include the age of the animals, the nutritional requirements, the major practices, and economic considerations, of course, can't be overlooked. First of all, wet feeds are usually in semi-liquid form, so they can be in form of mash, they can be like porridge, or any other moisture mixture. The common ingredients that we use in our wet feeds include water, grains, and some other supplements like vitamins or minerals. So one of the major advantages we've seen with using wet feeds is that one, they're easy to digest for young pigs because it is quite similar to what they've been consuming while still with the mother or the sow. And also, they can be used to mix medication or supplements that we would like to administer to our pigs. Wet feeds also reduce dust and airborne pathogens in the pig housing because dry feeds like let's say maize bran or anything else that is mixed dry usually has that dust that goes off while they are feeding and then spreads all over in the house, which is not the case when it comes to wet feeds. It also helps improve the feed intake in some situations, but also wet feeds have some disadvantages. In most cases, they are perishable. Therefore, the animals need to consume them to avoid spillage or to avoid them getting spoiled before they are consumed. So usually we mix our feeds and then they can spend a week before they are consumed, most especially fermented feeds. And after that, most of these feeds usually go bad. So it is also required to have specialized feeding equipment and storage, because unlike the dry feeds that you can store in a sack, for the wet feeds we usually have containers, tanks usually that are 10 jerry cans or 13 that we use to store our wet feeds. So generally they require higher labor costs and maintenance compared to dry feeds, but also they also require higher costs of transport due to the higher moisture content compared to dry feeds. They tend to be heavier, so when transporting them they are usually bulky and also heavy, which means higher transport costs. However, on the other side, dry feeds are usually solid or granular. They can be in pellet form, so usually the ingredients are mixed then processed to create uniform feed particles. So typically they have lower moisture content compared to our wet feeds. So in the category of dry feeds, the major ingredient usually still is maize bran, or we can use broken and many other factors. Compared to wet feeds, they are usually economical and cost effective in terms of storage, transportation, because usually when we are transporting maize bran, you can pile up like 4 bags in the same line and then transport usually quite bigger quantities, because you can find that a vehicle that transports 10 tons of dry feeds is not the same vehicle that is required to transport 10 tons of wet feeds. So one of the they are usually suitable at all stages of pig growth, that is from piglets to adult. So compared to wet feeds, they are usually economical and cost effective, that is in terms of storage, because they consume lesser spaces when it comes to storage and transportation. Dry feeds are suitable for pigs from all growth stages, that is from the adult pigs to the piglets. And also they require less because our normal feeder can serve them, which is not the same when it comes to wet feeds, because we require specialized equipment for feeding them and serving them, the storage, which are all costs really. So however, Dry feeds also tend to be, so some of the disadvantages of dry feeds is the fact that it is difficult to incorporate medications or supplements without additional processing, because every time we add in anything to dry feeds, then the mixing, which is quite a hassle compared to wet feeds. Also, there is that dust and airborne pathogen can be a concern, so they require proper management compared to wet feeds, because when pouring in the maize bran into all the maize bran mixed with all those other things we add in, the biggest concern when it comes to dry feeds is the dust and airborne pathogens that can be a concern, because they require proper management to reduce both wastage and also to reduce the dust in the animal structure. So the choice between wet and dry feeds often depends on specific circumstances of the pig operation. So sows and piglet diets, wet feeds are often used for nursing sows, that is after they've given birth, then also to our piglet. However, dry feeds are more common to older pigs, but still dry feeds can also be used at different stages, but they are usually best for older. So some farmers prefer the handling and storage of dry feeds, while others prefer wet feeds for their benefits they offer.